Hey there, I'm Terrie, and I'm the intuitive healer for folks who have anxiety and want to access their soul evolution and intuition. There's more than meets the eye here as we chat and hang out in these episodes that have spiritual, esoteric, multidimensional, somatic, quantum techniques, tools, and tips to help you get unstuck and move you forward in your day-to-day life. So join me in discovering your path to help you clear anxiety of the past, align your energy to the present, and create your new future. Really recording. Okay. All right, Greer. All right. How can I help you?
So I would love to talk to you about, I would say most specifically, my career and career path in general. Um, Please, can you remind me how much is too much information? How much is not enough information? I just want to make sure that I don't confuse you
Sure.
or
Well,
sway you or anything.
I mean, the more specific you are with your question, the more
Okay.
details you're going to get.
Okay.
Um, I'm going to leave that information up to you because I can give you a reading based on the most information or the least information. But ideally, to get the target, you want to be really specific with your question. So
Okay.
if you do give me too much information, I'll stop you. Just don't be offended by it.
Oh, I won't.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Okay, great. So I would say most specifically, I'm at a crossroad between staying at a job and leaving. More
Okay.
specifically, when it comes to my company and the client that I work for.
Okay. Okay.
So I would love to understand like where first, broader question, where my career path is going and if I'm on that right path.
Okay.
Secondly, if I'm currently in the space that I'm supposed to be in,
Yeah.
or if I should follow signs I'm getting from the universe that maybe this isn't right and like I've done what I need to do and move on.
Yeah. First of all, you got to be really careful when taking signs from the universe because
For sure. Because I can make anything a sign.
you said
Yeah.
it. And when anxiety, even though you're spiritually inclined, the anxiety can cloud reality because that's what anxiety's job is there to do is to keep the body safe. Now, I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99.9% sure that whatever choice or decision you make ultimately is not going to kill your body. Like your body will not cease to exist. So that's why I'm really glad you're not just going to fall for the signs because the signs may not be real.
Right.
Um, when I feel into your energy, Greer, see, you are, you're quick on your feet. Do you understand this? Like
Yeah.
you're very resourceful and you can also you're almost like a magician where you can put things together like that come out of nowhere like it
Yeah.
didn't exist and now it does. You
Yeah.
understand that?
Yes.
Now, what's great about that is that it does allow you more of a balance than a lot of women actually who are modern and working have because you are using your masculine energy correctly,
Hmm.
structure, um, and getting things done. Follow through and action is what they're saying. But to create something from nothing is a creative endeavor, and that's feminine energy. And you give yourself permission to receive ideas if you understand this. So I really feel like if you're not already in the field, and I'll find out information, but we're starting off broader,
Yeah.
feel you need to be sort of like a problem solver if you're not already a problem solver
Yeah.
or someone who just gets it done. So even someone like a project manager, because I also feel like you're good with people. So if you're not there yet, I have this vision of you like kind of directing people and allocating and delegating which is masculine, but the way you come across is actually more nurturing and compassionate, which is feminine. So again, you have a really nice balance of the masculine, feminine energy. First of all, does any of this resonate with you? Anything that I'm saying, does it make sense to you? Are you already doing that?
Yes.
Okay, so then let me confirm that what you're doing is correct, but
Great.
you just may not be doing it for the correct client or the correct company. Just a
Yeah.
heads up, Buttercup, because you're good at that. And God, if you're not already on your own doing this as like consulting, I see that being a direction. I really see making a shit ton of money in the future. And
I
like
would
being
love that.
I'm sorry?
I would love that to make a shit ton of money. That sounds great.
A great metric, right?
Yeah.
Um, I really do feel like, and again, you're one of these rare women, I'm going to say it, that can do and have and be all, because not a lot of modern, and I know, that might piss someone off, but I really think you can do it because you have such a good sense of balance, and your creativity and your analysis are nice and hand in hand. Um, how long have you been at this company? Ooh, how long have you been at this company?
I've been here 2 years and 8 months.
Okay, so you've done your time. Isn't that interesting how I said it like that? Or at least that like why am I saying you've done your time? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you've been to jail and
I've served.
you've served, right? So yeah, I feel like you're trapped or there's something about it where you feel like you can't get out. Do you understand this?
Yeah.
Or it seems as if you can't get out. Okay.
Yeah. It's the seams. It
Seems.
feels.
It feels. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Because it's a perspective. It's a consciousness.
Correct. It's not reality. Like,
Yeah.
I know that's not reality.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But it's a feeling.
So what exactly is your question then?
I would like to know if me leaving or staying is the
Mm,
right move. Like, if it's too
okay.
early to leave, like, if there's something else that I need to be waiting for to, like, fully close a chapter, or if, like, it
Yeah.
makes sense for me and my path to move on from the place.
Well, here's the thing is like you're doing the right thing and you're on the right trajectory. So as long as you were as long as you still had the same, okay, this is an interesting way to describe this, the same playing field, it wouldn't matter if you stayed or if you went.
Got it.
It's the playing field where you thrive.
Right.
So, yes, you could leave. I'm going to be practical and pragmatic and very logical with you right now and just say I wouldn't leave until you had another job, just because I do feel like financial security is
For sure.
important to you.
Yeah.
So we don't want to put you in, since you're not in a place of feeling unsafe financially in this now moment, we don't want to put you in that place, because then the thriving will turn into surviving. And you, like your sense of balance comes from thriving. Okay. Even though there's a perception or a consciousness or a paradigm that you are trapped, which can provoke and trigger survival. But I don't think that's real. This client, I almost feel like the client is giving you more headaches than the company. You understand this?
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Yep.
But you kind of have to take the client because it comes with the company, correct?
Correct. It comes with the job also, specifically, like my specific role at my company.
This is where I feel like the kink needs to be worked out. And this client, you've been working with them the same amount of time that you've been at the company, or?
Less, a year and a half.
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know if you want to play around with them or not. Okay, so what's coming up is that you can be a little mischievous and throw in some shenanigans to test. I know that sounds weird, but to test their loyalty to you.
Right.
I feel like you're loyal because you have to be, but I'm
Right.
not they're loyal to you. And in that aspect, I feel like they can take advantage of you. You understand this?
Yeah.
So that's why I almost feel like there needs to, it's such a weird way to say it, but I feel like you have some guides who are like really mischievous and playful and like they want to come out and play because you're very playful. And that's like part of who you are in a way, a prankster or something like that, or a really good sense of humor.
Yeah.
So the question then becomes, how do you do that while still staying obviously professional, not getting kicked out? But really the bottom line is like, if we really get to the root cause of this is how do you set a boundary? Because it's about boundary setting really is what it's coming up. You just have guides who are just like silly and playful and mischievous and they're hooligans that want to play shenanigans,
Right.
which I love. I mean, I think that's fun. I don't know how experimental you are or choose to be, but that's kind of what's coming up. So if we really take this to the very, very bottom basic is that you need to not be afraid to set boundaries with them.
Yeah. I think what's hard in my role is there are no such thing as boundaries. So at my company, it's like you work on Christmas, you work New Year's Eve, you work New Year's Day, you're always available. Um, so where I struggle is like there isn't a boundary I'm able to set.
And those are the specific areas that are kind of annoying you because I don't know like if you're okay with those, that's a choice and you're choosing this, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like there's something above that. There's other it's not just that they're taking advantage of you of. You understand this? What else is it?
Um, I'm such a team player that they always put me last, is what it is. And
Yeah.
it's like that character flaw, like, in Shakespeare, where it was like it's what made a character so great, and then it also like led to their demise. And I feel like that's mine.
Right. I don't know. I don't like us putting it or framing it as a character flaw. Because there's duality to everything. There's pros and
Right.
cons, positives and negatives. Um, now so it's not so much boundary. I mean, it is on some level, but it's how you're showing up, I think.
Mm,
All right. How does this feel to you when I say people pleaser?
tracks. Tracks. Makes sense.
So, there's a difference between being nice and being kind. And I feel like
Yeah.
you have to start being kind, which doesn't always mean that you're nice,
Right.
which is boundary setting, which is sometimes saying no. So it may not be a timing boundary, like in terms of working on these holidays, because that in a way is a choice. If you're super clear that you know and need and want to have those days off, this makes it very simple for you. But this goes deeper.
Yeah.
And this is
It,
how you're showing up.
yeah.
So, what you do is great. You make a lot of money. I think you're really good at it. But I think where this needs to be looked at from a deeper level or a different perspective is how am I showing up as the person who'll always be there? So if she's always there, there's no reason to see her in a different light because she's always there, Miss Reliable, Miss Dependable, which
Yeah.
again, really a great character trait to have.
Right.
So that's the sort of the boundary that we're playing with is like, how do you still say no to the things that don't feel right to you, but they're not on that superficial level? Because that's a choice. Like that would make you wouldn't be having this conversation with me if you knew exactly, I just don't want to work on these days and I can't say no to this time.
Right.
So what are
Right.
the opportunity? It's almost like, what are the opportunities I'm missing out on because they see me in this perspective? And then how do I change that? But it's
Yeah.
showing me the information I'm getting is that it's a people pleasing kind of survival skill. And that's why you're feeling stuck because it's
Yeah.
triggering your fawning survival response.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes it difficult because it's not even like it's blocking me from doing something. I feel like it's blocking me from feeling like of becoming the person that I want to be and doing the things that are important to me. I feel
Yeah.
like it's getting in the way of like my life and like my growth as a human being and a person. And that's where it gets tricky. It's like less about the Christmas and the New Year's of it all, but it's like the working 45 days straight, including weekends, and not figuring out who I am in this season of my life.
Yeah. Well, then, what you need to do is you need to, as basic as this sounds, is come up with a pro and con list
Yeah.
and see which one is longer or bigger. Because again, you're having that feminine aspect of feeling something's not right and I can feel it in my body.
Yeah.
But in order to make a choice or a decision, you have to have information.
Yeah.
And you're not having enough information. So the anxiety is always going to win out when you don't have the information. Because for somebody who has anxiety, information is like medication, and then your body can relax. And then you're coming from a true, authentic, intuitive space. Because I'm seeing it as a perception switch. It's like, okay, like, I don't have to leave. I like what I do. I'm good at what I do. I'm making blah, 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 blah. But even right now, when I said I like what I do, I felt the, I don't know how else to explain it, but you're like, no, I actually don't like it. So what is that information?
Right.
So how authentic are you being with yourself?
Right. I like what I do. I just don't
Yeah.
like who I do it for. And I
Yeah.
feel like they're the same right
Yeah.
now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard to
Yeah.
pull.
Well, that's why I'm saying you have to come up with a pragmatic, practical solution for the not necessarily solution, but um view. Because like if you see things written down, you'd be surprised how that changes perspective. So it would go either way. I'm telling you that you could leave and you would do just as well.
Right.
You could stay and continue to do just as well if you were to change your perspective.
Right.
So it really comes down to remember the dog thing that I mean, it was years ago. All I can say is that you had to make a choice and you chose the right dog for yourself. So it's almost the same thing,
Yeah.
choosing the direction. You have the answer, and I know you do. And again, the information I'm getting is you're really good at what you do. You could do the same thing somewhere else for someone else. And even, in the future, like again, there's money. There's if you want to call it glory, I don't know to what aspect,
Mm.
but you'd be very happy. At the same time, you've done your time. So you've put in the time, you've put in the effort for the company. So you don't look like a job hopper either.
Right.
So you look stable. So you're coming off as stable. Once again, coming off as stable. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So you can learn how to set boundaries, even if you don't know what they are in this now moment, they will present themselves. And you can be kind by saying no, but in a really nice way. But being a doormat is being nice. And it doesn't feel good when you have a lot to offer. And you do have a lot to offer. And I feel like that's what you're coming head to head with is you're really starting to understand who Greer is and what her worth is.
Right.
That's what's happening. And
Yeah.
it to show up in this way for you, make it really uncomfortable because it does have to deal with financial security.
Yeah. For sure. It's just like a lot. It's just like I feel like for the first time it's figuring out like what is more important to me.
Yeah.
Me or all of these things that a job provides.
And because I don't or life, I and life. And on top of that, what if I take the risk and leave and then nothing happens, right? So here comes the invitation for the anxiety. But I will tell you this, no risk, no reward.
Right.
So
Right.
it's really about how can you balance and manage and regulate yourself. So it once again comes down to Greer.
Yeah.
It's always about us.
I know.
That's the evolution. I will tell you this. If you choose to leave, you'll be fine. And if you choose to stay, you'll be fine, but slash, and there needs to be a perception or perspective shift.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So it comes down to know thyself. So get clear. What is it that you want? What is it that you need? That's why I'm saying come up very pragmatic and practical. Can I ask
Yes.
you what it is exactly that you do? You don't have to give the company, you don't have to give the client, but like, what is
Yeah.
it that you do?
So I'm an account manager. So it's very similar to a project manager. I basically am just a project manager for a client.
Okay.
But I also where you were very much on the same path. I do a lot of project management things, but I also wear a lot of hats for each department. So I also do strategy and I do
Yeah.
creative and I do all of these other elements as well, which you had
You're
touched on before.
super valuable. I'm getting chills on this. You're super valuable. I just don't think I think you're starting to sense the value. So you're starting to come online to your worth and you're also coming online to what's possible and then seeing what's happening that isn't making that possibility come alive. And there's a part of you that's bigger that is curious. And that is the part of you that I would, and again, I can't make this decision for you, but
Right.
that's the part that I might explore is this curiosity and go in courageous and brave and trust that if you can balance and regulate this anxiety that you will make the best and right choice for yourself in the big picture of things.
Right.
Because you're being triggered right now in survival mode.
Yeah, I
Even
feel like I'm surviving.
yeah,
I transparently that's how I felt for a long time.
yeah. So, that is not necessarily, and you even admitted it, that's not necessarily reality.
Right. Yeah,
I
it's
hope.
like not like it's a job, but I feel like I'm hanging on tight, you know?
But I used to work in advertising and
That's
it
what
was
I meant.
in advertising. Okay. So I mean, it was like I was with this company that I loved and adored for like 6 years. And there was all this management thing. And, I ended up getting laid off. And then I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing this now. But I remember my boss always, because I would freak out, right? Because the anxiety and perfectionism is like, this had to be done. And da, da, da. She's like, Terrie, this isn't heart surgery. But I was treating it as if it were heart surgery. You
Yeah.
already get that.
Yeah, I do.
And you
I got told to stop telling people that we're not curing cancer because I get it.
Yeah. And you're good with other people. You really are. Like I was saying, you know how to manage, you know how to delegate and allocate, and you do it in a way that's actually kind. Because you can also say, listen, you gotta fix this, man. Like you're screwing up,
Right.
you know. If you could just transfer that same energy to your client, but they're kind of on a pedestal because they're paying you.
Yeah, like we're a vendor, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's not going to change. What can
No,
change is you, but
yeah.
that's not going to change. And you're the only one that can do it.
Yeah. I have a hopefully quick follow-up question. Um, can you see, sorry, my dog is bothering me now. She's like, "Hey." Um, can you see so something that like I have a gut feeling that the client won't be using our agency for much longer. Just a
Okay.
feeling I have. The client is going through a lot of changes,
Okay.
um, both
Okay.
in the news and otherwise. And I'm just curious, like, I'm also like, oh, should I get out before it gets
Sure. So can you
crazy?
do me a favor because I don't want this to be public? Can in the chat you write the name of the company because I need to connect to the energy of or not the company, the client, because I don't want that to go. Okay. Um, mm,
I could be more specific within the brand under
Yeah,
that.
please. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm gonna pull some cards on that.
Okay.
I don't feel good about it. So my first thing is like,
Neither. I also
well,
don't feel great about it.
I'm not doing a share screen. Okay, good. Because I was like, that I'm like, oh shit. Okay, so the way I'm framing it is if you leave, does it benefit you? And like, how do you go, like, what comes out of it? Here's what I would say. When you do leave, here's what's going to be interesting. When you do leave, it's going to be, notice I'm saying when, so you will be leaving.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
At
When
some
you
point in life, I will
get
not stay here forever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a really quick decision, even though you've been thinking about it for a while. It's
Yeah.
almost like you're like throwing up the papers and just going, fuck this, like I'm
Yep.
out.
Yep.
I
That's how
will.
I roll.
Okay, so like you're kind of marinating right now, so there's a lot, of going on there. I wouldn't be surprised if you leave within 6 months to a year. I know that that's kind of, specific in a way. But yeah, it would not surprise me if like within 6 months to a year you're out. But what I can tell you is it's gonna be fast. You're gonna be like, it's like you're gonna be like, I quit, like I'm out. You're still gonna be professional giving the 2 weeks notice, but once you
Yeah.
made that decision, like that's it. I will tell you that you will be leaving rough waters and there will be reasons to celebrate.
Mm.
So that makes me think that there's going to be something else really good for you on the horizon that is just going to be, there's like this, I'm feeling like ecstatic joy, elation, happiness. Now that could either be because you break free from jail,
Right.
or you're going to move to a better company, or at least a company that has better opportunities or more money, or is a nice stepping stone. I think you're doing everything right, by the way. I have to tell you, being there 2 years and what'd you say, 18 months, 2 years and 8 months or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you didn't just skip out of town here,
No.
just you just did that. Like here, brain wise, logically, you're just gonna feel like free. But this decision is gonna come out of nowhere. So it's like, shouldn't I? I think you're going to, and it's just a matter of kind of like when. And I think within the next 6 months to a year, oh, opportunities are going to pop up. I would, if I were you, I would at least explore every opportunity.
Yes, I
Don't think,
am.
okay, good. So are opportunities coming your way? Because if they haven't, they are going to. Okay.
Yeah, they have been.
Good. You're going to be fine. You're going to be just fine. But you're almost in a way going to surprise yourself. Go like, what the hell did that come
I
from?
know. I feel like I sit on something for a long time and then like once like the final straw hits, I'm like, thank you so much. Good night. Like it's time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's what's going to happen. Reasons to celebrate, feeling joy, um, leaving rough waters, coming to smoother waters. And I also think that there's going to be more of an appreciation where you're going, more of an appreciation, which makes sense if they're kind of in a way taking you for granted, like, oh, good old Greer, she's always there. So we don't have to like, you're not the pick me girl. That's not what I'm saying. You're not the
No,
pick
I
me,
know. Yeah.
but they're not like, you're not even on their radar because you're so reliable and so dependable. So the next one, maybe a little bit more shenanigans and hooligans. Ask those guys to
Right.
kind of guide you a little bit more and just go, come on, man. Like, you know,
Yeah.
but it's all part of evolution. It's all part of growth. I think you're going to be, I know you're going to be fine. I know you're going to be fine. So no matter what you decide or choose, you're going to be okay. Your body will not die. But just remember the only reason why you're kind of stuck is because
your ego, the lower part of your soul, is trying to protect the human body. So if any change is made, it might just cease to exist, which is not true.
Right. Right.
Right, my dear?
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead. I'll email you. I'm going to go ahead and upload it now. You're my last reading for the night. I'm going to email this to you so you can watch it again, maybe in like a week and then in like a month, just to hear it differently than you're hearing it now.
Yeah, that would be great.
Cool. All right, my dear. Have a wonderful evening. Okay. It was great seeing you again.
I know, you too. Thank you so much, Terrie. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Have a great night.
All right. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, our time in this now moment together has ended, but another now moment is on its way. Thank you so much for joining me in this human journey and listening to this podcast, The Portal with Terrie Huberman. I sure hope you're getting something out of it. I'm here to help you clear anxiety from the past, align your energy into the present, and help you create your future. My prayer for you is to find the peace and calmness in any given now moment so you can recognize when blessings are afoot and you get to choose your next adventure. Be curious and stay connected. You can always find me at terriehuberman.com. Bye now.